Now on 7 News, the latest on the devastation in western North Carolina. Nearly 60 deaths are now blamed on Helene in Buncombe County alone.
Plus, the latest on power outages and recovery efforts in the Upstate. We're live from Spartanburg and Greenville counties with team coverage.
We start with new video from a drone over Lake Lure. You can see the damage left behind by the storm. Town officials are telling everyone to stay off the water because of vast amounts of debris, propane and gas. Governor Roy Cooper said yesterday that some North Carolina communities were wiped off the map. Good morning. It's Wednesday, October 2nd. It is 6:30. I'm Fred Cunningham.
I'm Olivia Donnelly. Thanks for joining us. We are tracking the recovery efforts from Hurricane Helene, continuing our coverage in Buncombe County.
7 News' Kelsey O'Donnell has the latest from Swannanoa.
The search and recovery for residents continues after Hurricane Helene wiped out entire communities in western North Carolina. Small mountain towns like Swannanoa are face to face with devastation.
It swept away everything.
The destruction is widespread. Buildings washed away and entire homes found wrapped around trees from the raging floodwaters.
There's not a repair here. This is going to be a rebuild. We're going to have to rebuild bridges, roads, buildings, houses.
Dozens of people are still unaccounted for. Officials say more than 500 people have been rescued by air in the western part of the state as crews continued their work to dig out mud-packed roads on Tuesday.
Absolutely devastated that area. And the road we live on, it got washed out, so everyone on our mountainside of the whole trailer park up there next to Caraway got trapped up there. So just now able to get out.
The hum of helicopters remains constant over the hardest hit locations. There are still several areas officials tell us that have yet to be reached.
It's really heartbreaking to see our community like this. I mean, it's all in pieces. It's really, really sad.
Community members flock to roadside distribution centers for food and water, while others are doing what they can to help.
First spot here that we found that was giving out donations and supplies, so we just stopped and pulled over and brought our stuff here.
While the Swannanoa community is hurting, they're remaining hopeful as officials say the recovery will likely last for several weeks.
And that's how we will get this stuff rebuilt, is just to take care of each other and community helping community.
Crews from across the state are staging here at the Swannanoa Fire Department. The fire chief tells us the floodwaters were so severe that it geographically changed the path of the Swannanoa River. Right now, they are currently working to remap the area. That way they can direct their search and recovery operations in the coming days. Reporting in Swannanoa, I'm Kelsey O'Donnell.
6:32 new this morning. President Joe Biden plans to visit storm-damaged areas in both Carolinas today. CBS News reports the president will take an aerial tour of damage in Asheville. The president will also meet with first responders and officials in South Carolina, but there's no details on that part of his visit.
The death toll continues to rise across the Carolinas. Officials say 37 people have died in the Palmetto State from Hurricane Helene so far. More than the 35 lives lost from Hurricane Hugo in 1989, making Helene the deadliest storm in state history. More than 70 people have been found dead in western North Carolina. The majority of those casualties are in Buncombe County. We have just learned 9 deaths in Henderson County are blamed on the storm.
6:33, our team coverage continues. 7 News' Christine Scarpelli is in Spartanburg with the latest from Duke Energy, but we start with Taylor Farmer. She's live in Greenville. Good morning.
Good morning, Fred. We've really seen the community come together in a time of need this week. Today, Mill Village Ministries is hosting a hurricane relief grab-and-go breakfast from 8:30 to 10:30 at their location here at 1186 Pendleton Street in Greenville. Other places are helping with food and resources as well. Harvest Hope Food Bank on Whitehorse Road is handing out food as needed. Typically, that runs from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. When you drive up, you can get all kinds of items such as bread, canned food, some refrigerated items, and drinks. We're told right now they're feeding about 300 families a day. Leaders say they're also taking out mobile food pantries to neighborhoods in need.
We've taken them out all over our 20 counties. It's a great way because we can go directly to where the need is and they don't have to come to us. A lot of times people have transportation issues, or right now there's a lot of neighbors still stuck because of trees down. So we're able to take those much needed resources directly to where it's needed most.
Harvest Hope leaders say donations are always appreciated. Yesterday I spoke with them. They say they are in need of some more non-perishable food items and they are looking for more volunteers. But again, here at Mill Village Ministries, a grab and go breakfast will be held from 8:30 to 10:30. Live in Greenville, Taylor Farmer, 7 News.
Taylor, thank you. Our team coverage continues. 7 News' Christine Scarpelli live in Spartanburg with more from Duke Energy. Good morning.
Good morning, Liv. Yeah, it's like a little city here in Spartanburg. This is base camp for the Spartanburg area. There's about 10 of these throughout our region. This is a self-sufficient area for a lot of these linemen. The traffic is really picking up this morning. Crews are coming in that have gotten some rest overnight, so they'll be ready to literally hop into these trucks that have been gassed up and repaired, fixed, ready to go if they need it. So there are crews working around the clock here for Duke Energy. You're looking at crews now inspecting some of their vehicles. We're seeing those gas trucks move through here, so a lot of action here. Duke Energy explains that they've got to start at those large sites, those high voltage transmission lines, more than 100 of them that were damaged. Those high voltage transmission lines bring the electricity to smaller substations and then areas with lower voltage to be able to reach communities, our neighborhoods, businesses. They'll of course restore things like water treatment and sewer plants first. They've done about 50 of those so far, giving them electricity so they can function and bring you in neighborhoods, of course, clean water. There's been several different areas across our region. They've been working with government and city and county workers to try to clear areas. A lot of those workers are waiting to clear some debris to make sure those electrical lines are not on. So again, working very closely, especially yesterday, to get to some more of those remote places where they can't quite reach. Safety, of course, the priority. Take a listen.
Until you fix the transmission, it doesn't matter what we do in your front yard or your neighborhood, you're not going to have power. And so it all works downstream from there.
Again, fixing those lines that take the high voltage to the low voltage and then those smaller lines that bring it into your neighborhood. They're making progress though. Duke Energy tells me that there's more than 600,000 that have been restored this morning. We're getting the latest numbers in just a few seconds. We'll have those in the next 30 minutes. Back to you guys.
Christine, let's break down the updated numbers from Duke. 59% of customers in Greenville County are without power. It's around 67% in Spartanburg County, 42% in Anderson County, but 95% of Lawrence County customers are in the dark.
6:37, Pickens County is opening a non-emergency call center to answer questions about Hurricane Helene. The call center will take reports on traffic issues and recovery efforts every day this week from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. You can reach them at the number on your screen, 864-774-9743. County leaders say that shelters and charging stations have been set up around the county. If you need food or water, the county has set up 3 distribution centers for pickup.
Those points of distribution for water and for meals ready to eat for folks that might need them are at the Dacusville Fire Department, the Pickens County Building Maintenance Complex, and at Clemson University.
Those distribution centers will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day. Pickens County leaders say they had no storm-related deaths, but that 20 people had to be rescued from the flooding.
Happening today, Mobile Meals of Spartanburg continues work to help people impacted by Helene. Meals are prepared and ready to be delivered this morning. Mobile Meals says it's delivered 1,300 meals to people without power in Spartanburg County. We're told some of their regular volunteers couldn't make it, but new faces showed up to help out.
So to be able to do this for other people who life in general is a little scary and lonely, I'm happy to do this, especially right now when we're all a little scared.
Mobile Meals of Spartanburg says you can get on their list for deliveries or to volunteer. We have a link for you in this story on WSPA.com. Malachi.
All right, our time is now 6:39, and we start off with temperatures in the 60s in the upstate, low 60s in western North Carolina. A mild start to the morning, mostly clear, which is fantastic news. A little less than an hour from sunrise, so we're starting to see some daylight over downtown Greenville. Nice sight to see there. Downtown Anderson also mostly clear this morning, and as we go through the day, we should see sunshine and mild temperatures. Low 80s today in the upstate, a little bit on the warmer side, and in the mountains, highs stay in the upper 70s for your Wednesday. All right, let's look at our forecast. Let's check in on our live drive traffic.
All right, let's do it. Thanks, Malachi. Heading out there on your roadways this morning, a check of our travels on your interstate. This is a look right now over toward Roper Mountain Road. It's moderately busy, I would say. If you are headed south on 85 and making your way past exit 80, we have a disabled car. The right lane is closed to drivers, but unfortunately, the Helene has knocked out a lot of our DOT cameras, so I can't show you that accident, but I can tell you we are slow moving, and I am seeing that on my traffic maps this morning. Western North Carolina is still considered closed by car. Unless you are with emergency personnel, they need to get into the area to assess the damage, get supplies to people in the recovery efforts, and they do not need cars out there dragging along. If you need to head toward Tennessee, I-77 North is your commute this morning. Fred.
Cleaning up after Helene. Next on 7 News, consumer anchor Diane Lee is here to help with what you can do with all the piles of debris. 20 minutes now before 7. There's a hint of the sunrise coming from downtown Greenville. This is 7 News.